we're good here.
Good to go?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I think we're good.
All right.
All right, we're rolling.
Okay, we're rolling then.
My wig move? Okay, all right. Cool.
It looks great. So we're back for another slightly less scripted podcast. That's the name of this podcast because we wanted to make it a little bit more casual, a little bit more friendly, and just kind of just see where things go. But we're here with Lou Yeager, class of, remind me, 89,
Yep.
and Charlie Siracusa, Vice President of Advancement. Charlie, this is technically your first time
It is.
on the podcast as well.
It is.
But
Thank you.
You were on your own. That kind of inspired this whole thing.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, it turned out terrific.
Has been beautiful. So we have Lou back here today, which is awesome. And this will actually be our kind of first time interacting a little bit. Although I've had you on social media and I've always noticed that when I run our social media accounts, I've always noticed when I post things on social, you're one of the first people to like it.
Yeah, I use a lot of the coaches at Catholic Central's social media or sayings to motivate me in business. So if I need a hype video throughout the day, I'll go look at yours. I'll go look at Coach Hancock's, Aaron Babbitt's. Throughout the day, I'm following you guys on social media. And that's kind of all I do is follow sports.
That's amazing.
And it's a great motivator, especially for me. I'm in sales, and it helps me keep my team motivated.
But you're obviously
Totally agree.
probably a busy person. And I found it interesting. You're one of always the first people that it's there. It's on. You're on it.
You know, Catholic Central has been instrumental in my life, and I'll never forget all the little lessons that I learned here. Most of them funny because they were pretty embarrassing at the time, but it taught me a lot about life, and I'm forever grateful for it to this day.
I went here, and I remember that I went to Novi before, a public school, and I always tell people you could probably go to school anywhere, and it'll be a decent school, especially Novi, Northvilles. They're good schools.
Yeah.
But one thing that you'll get here that's a little bit different is character development. I never got that at Novi, and I don't think I would have.
You know, to that point, one of the most interesting things that happened to me when I was a freshman is I went to Northville for middle school, and I came to Catholic Central, and you have homeroom, and you're mixed with everybody in homeroom, and no one really knows anyone. And in public school, the popular kids kind of run the show. And we were in homeroom, and all the kids were kind of hanging around, and we started playing cards together. And what I loved about Catholic Central was that I was playing cards with the head of the debate team,
So good.
the chess club, and there's this jock, right? And I was just fascinated. We played cards, the 4 or 5 of us in this little group, all freshman year, and amazing.
The niches are kind of like blended.
They really are. You could, back when I was here, we had the bike rack club, and those were the kids that would go outside and smoke cigarettes. And they were great musicians, and they had bands, but you were friends with all of them. And that level of respect for one another's differences and us being able to embrace those differences and come together and respect each other was something I'll never forget.
Yeah, set you up for life in such a positive way.
It's not a 4-year thing. It's a lifetime
Lifetime
thing,
thing,
for sure.
For sure. No question about it.
And you mentioned a little bit before that obviously your dad went here,
Yes.
graduated, came back to teach.
Yes.
Start wrestling, right?
Yeah,
at
he
the
started
school?
the wrestling program in the 50s.
So
No kidding.
could you talk to me a little bit about? I just think that history is really cool. Could we go through how did that happen?
Yeah.
They back in the 50s, my dad was coaching freshman football. And he might have been called up to help coach varsity as well. But they had played a game, if my memory serves me, against Boys Town out in Nebraska, and they got beat pretty badly, and they were physically beaten. And Dad tells the story as they were on the way home from the game, and the coach came up and said, "Louie, come on up here." He said, "You're the new head wrestling coach." And my dad said, "What's wrestling?" He said, "I don't know what it is." And he said, "I don't think we have any mats." He said, I don't think, he says, "You're the coach." And so they took the pads off the gym walls. If you all remember this, under the basket, they would be pads because the gyms were smaller.
Yeah, for the rebounds. Yeah.
And they took those off, and those were the wrestling mats. Those aren't wrestling mats. Those are concrete pads. They're really hard.
Yeah.
They're not very soft. And so Dad basically said, I'm going to have the most in shape kids there are. He had 100 kids out, and he knew like 2 moves. But he just ran the kids over and over and over, and they were the best shape ever. And they were tough.
Wow.
And
amazing.
Dad did that to me because I didn't want to wrestle. I wanted to play basketball. I liked basketball, football, basketball, baseball. And Dad said,
how many years did he coach?
Oh, he coached, I think 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And
no experience, jumped right into it.
No experience. I think he knew a half Nelson and maybe a double leg. And I think many years ago when Coach Rod was at River Rouge, I think Catholic Central beat River Rouge.
Wow.
With a team that didn't know what they were doing.
So
amazing.
One of his teams would have wrestled against one of Coach Rod's.
Yes.
And beat him.
Yes. And then shortly thereafter, Coach Rod takes over the program and took us through where Mitch has us today.
Interesting. So obviously your legacy at Catholic Central, how did your dad decide that he was coming here, or his parents decide that?
I don't know the story. I know that his brother Dick, who was a really good athlete and older than him, came to Catholic Central. And obviously my grandmother was instrumental in bringing the kids here because my dad's dad died when he was 16 years old. So they were probably working their way through Catholic Central. They probably wasn't a lot of money hanging around the Yeager house back then. And but my grandmother was really tight with Father Donaher and a couple of the other priests. And so I suspect that's how it is. And my dad, is 15, 16 without a dad. My grandmother probably needed some help from the priests.
Yeah, for sure.
To keep Dad on the straight and narrow. Yeah.
Wow. And then decided to come back, teach here, coach, do the full 9 yards. And then you were telling me right before we came in that maybe at first you kind of didn't want to come to CC, but he kind of pushed you in that direction a little bit.
Yeah. I was in middle school at Northville, and as you know, it's a good school, good athletics, but it's not like Catholic Central. And I kind of had it wired at Northville because I was, good at sports. I was going to play all the sports and everything. And Dad said, you're not going to Northville High School. Not in the equation. And he said, I said, oh, Dad, he said, you have 2 choices. You have Windsor High School, or Assumption High School in Windsor, Ontario. Yeah. And he said, and they'll love you there. The priests will love you there. He said, because they're really strict and you'll learn your manners. And he said, or you can go to Catholic Central. And he said, but if you go to Catholic Central, you're going to wrestle. And I didn't want to move away from home. So I said, I'll go to Catholic Central and I'll wrestle.
Wow.
Yeah.
But that wasn't your sport of choice.
I was mediocre at best, at very best. And I didn't apply myself until Dad taught me that it could help me in football because I loved football. I loved the physicality of football.
There you go.
And he said, if you want to be a great football player, you have to wrestle.
Yeah, because those guys are
great advice. Right?
Absolutely conditioned like
and
no other.
And he was right. I got, you talk about character. We had Toby Heaton, Lee Krieger. These are all Americans. My brother, Mitch Quint, the Rods, Lemanskis. They just pummeled me in the wrestling room.
Wow.
And an alum named Namir Nader would come back who wrestled at Michigan. The Nader brothers, there's 3 of them. They were all state at Catholic Central. A couple of them were all Americans. And they came back and they would just steamroll us. And football games are pretty easy after wrestling these guys.
Yeah,
so
right,
I was like,
sure.
I can't wait till football season. I'm going to hurt someone. But during wrestling season, it was humble pie every day.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a sport that has kind of taken off with UFC and with mixed martial arts that a lot of people find either wrestling or jiu-jitsu is kind of the entry. Because now you can kind of say there's a use case for it. 'Cause before it's kind of like, all right, you could be a great college wrestler or something. But now some of these guys go on the UFC and do really, really well.
Yeah. It's a tight-knit community and brotherhood. And I think the UFC's monetized it in a way no one ever could have imagined.
Could figure it out.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And they have a cool story. the UFC.
Great story.
Yeah, if you ever want to just go look it up, watch a docuseries about how Dana White saved the UFC and with I forget the brothers' names who started it, but it's a crazy story.
And you'll be watching pro football and you'll see this kid was a wrestler and that kid was a wrestler, and then a defensive back will shoot a great double leg as a tackle, and he'll come after the game. How'd you learn that? He goes, the offensive lineman who's a wrestler taught me how to do that. So it stays gaining, with it. It's gaining, I think, the due it deserves.
Yeah.
And now that women are doing it, it's awesome to watch young women wrestle as well.
And I could be wrong, but I feel like Mr. Silva always reminds me that it's the oldest sport in the world.
Yes.
Yeah. St. Michael wrestled the devil. That's what Coach Rod always taught us. It's the oldest sport. You know, it's in the Bible.
Look at you, Sean.
Yeah, he always
that's all, that. I didn't know that.
It's
Coach Rod
in the game.
You know, I want to say one thing about Coach Rod. He was like a second father to me. If you could have,
kidding,
yeah, he was unbelievable. And I remember senior year, I was better than I performed, and I lost the final match in regionals, so I didn't even make it to state. And I was beating this kid like 12-1, and I wound up getting pinned. And I had a temper tantrum on the mat. And Coach Rod comes over and grabs me by the back of the head. And at the time, I had committed to the Air Force Academy, a lot of expectations. You know, and he said, "You're going to be an officer in the Air Force. Act like a gentleman of God."
Mm.
Wow, powerful.
I'll never forget that. I felt so ashamed, but it stuck with me my whole life.
Forever.
And, I'll never. Coach Rod did so much to build my character, and it was shocking at how the impact he had on me through the sport.
Oh, sure.
Wow.
Amazing.
So then after CC, head over to Air Force Academy.
Mm-hmm.
How did that experience compare to Catholic Central? What was kind of similar, and what was kind of like, this is different level?
The similarity is I view all the kids at Catholic Central, especially at Catholic Central, as overachievers. It's a school of, I still think we're a school of underdogs. Mm-hmm. You know, we're not the Brother Rices, we're not the Cranbrooks, the Kingswoods, in spirit. And we were more middle class, blue collar. And so Catholic Central, I picked Air Force because of the similarities. I was surrounded by a bunch of guys that maybe had D1 offers, but we certainly weren't blue chip 5-star athletes. A lot of 1-stars and a lot of guys no one had ever heard of. Mm. And the Air Force Academy, you're surrounded by a bunch of people trying to better themselves and be the best they can be and serve their country. And so there's a sense of purpose and mission. So Catholic Central had the same thing, right? Goodness, discipline, and knowledge. You know, through Christ, all things are possible. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And the Air Force Academy did that through service before self, right? And, serving your country is so important. And people always ask me, what was it like to go to the Air Force Academy? And I said, the Air Force Academy did way more for me than I did for her. Same with the Air Force. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't easy, don't get me wrong. The differences were when you showed up to play a sport. My freshman year, there were 20 inside linebackers that were all freshmen. And so you're like, where in the world am I going to find a spot to play?
Yeah.
And they're all good. They're all just like you. Good students, good athletes. It's mind-boggling. And so that was the biggest difference, was the volume of people that were excellent in everything, right? I mean, we must have had a couple hundred valedictorians at the Air Force Academy, you know. That's intimidating.
These are the best of the best all put together.
Yeah, but you have no choice but to become your best. Or you can wither and fail.
Some people fall off.
Yeah. I failed at times. Trust me, I had a lot of trials and tribulations at the Air Force Academy, and I second-guessed myself a lot.
Sure.
But my friends at Catholic Central kept telling me, I'd write them letters, and they say, stay with it. Mm-hmm. Stay with it. You know, the kids I went to class with, kids I graduated with, the Chris Rodriguez's and Greg Paler and Kevin Jankowski. Kevin went to the Naval Academy, and he goes, you're going to let me one-up you and be the one to graduate from the academy, and you're going to quit and go back? And I said, no, I'm staying. But the toughness that I got through Coach Mack, Coach Rodriguez, stuck with me forever.
Yeah, you were just like, I won't quit.
Amazing story.
Never.
I won't do it.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
So you played football there.
I played football there, yeah.
Position?
I played inside linebacker, and then our sophomore year, our long snapper got hurt. And I was in the indoor arena just messing around during the pouring rainstorm, waiting to go out to practice, and they saw me snapping. They're like, have you ever done that? And I said, nope, but can I play? They said,
Oh, no kidding.
yes, you're starting next game.
Wow.
And I started against Notre Dame and Chris Zorich. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You guys win or lose that game?
We lost. Rocket Ishmael juked me and went, 50 yards for a touchdown.
Oh.
That was embarrassing. Wow. But Chris Zorich, he spit a huge bloody loogie on the football. And I went over to the ref and I said, hey, ref, can I get a clean ball? And he says, it looks clean to me.
Wow.
So that was, Zorich was tough. He hit me in the back of the head so hard I saw stars. But yeah, pretty good stories.
That's incredible. Was there a time that you said you had trials and tribulations? Was there at one time that you could remember that you could share that's like, I really thought I was going to quit there. Like I was pretty close to throwing in the towel, but I didn't. And then what was the thing that got you to be like, I can't do it?
This will be kind of humbling, but I did okay at Catholic Central. I had A's and B's and, did okay. I went to the Air Force Academy, and basically freshman year took all the same classes I took senior year at the Catholic Central.
Yeah.
And I had a 1.9 GPA at the Air Force Academy.
Wow.
And I was on academic probation. And I had hurt myself. I couldn't play football, and I just lost all confidence in myself. And I just knew I had more inside me, but I so frustrated, I didn't know where to go. And I went to church every morning and I started saying, help, direct me, tell me what to do. And I had a couple of teachers that said, I'm going to tutor you. I'm going to give you extra instruction. That's what they call it at the Air Force Academy. And you'll get it. And I can remember one of my coaches, this was the lowest point. He insulted me so bad. And he coaches at a big college now. And he said, Lou Yeager, you got a 1.9 and you got A's in all these classes in high school. He goes, are you stupid or what?
Wow.
He goes, we gave you an easy first semester and you squandered it. And I can remember being insulted to the point where I kind of wanted to hit him.
Yeah.
And he said, if you're insulted, that was the purpose of it.
Wow.
And great football coach, great human being, and it motivated me.
Wow.
And I chipped away at it.
So was it
another life lesson?
Yeah.
Wow. Was it, did they do it on purpose that the classes were harder, like to test people? Or was it truly you could have been doing like better?
So the one thing about military academies, and Catholic Central prepares you for this, they throw more at you than you can handle.
Mm-hmm.
So your minimum course load at an academy is 18 semester hours. That's 6 classes.
Yeah, I don't think I ever did more than 12.
Yeah, so that's your minimum. And frequently you're taking 21 or 24. So that's 8 classes. And you're on season.
Smokes.
And then you have the military training. You're a freshman. You're getting hazed.
It's a lot.
You're getting a lot thrown at you.
Yeah.
And it's meant to break you down.
Mentally.
And then rebuild you.
Wow.
And it works.
Yeah.
Right. And Catholic Central does that through their own way. Right.
In a different process. Yeah.
Absolutely. You want to break the kids down. You want them to realize that, there's more to it than what you see on the outside.
Yeah.
And so I learned that, and I stayed true to my faith, and I needed to, because there were a lot of it was not easy.
Mm-hmm.
And but I chipped away at it and stayed, and I figured out how to study.
I think that's awesome.
I love that you went to pray, Lou.
Yeah, that's great.
It was
powerful.
It was hard. It was hard because it was humbling,
mm-hmm.
right? And
I don't know where to go. I need help.
The only time I would feel comfortable would be in church, because there was, I was doing so poorly and everything. I wasn't playing football good, and I wasn't studying good, and everything was a mess. And
my guess would be there's a lot of religious at the academies, right?
a lot. Huge fellowship of Christian athletes. You'd go hang out with your buddies, and you do prayer there 2 or 3 times a week. And the fellowship, the brotherhood, that's what the Air Force Academy has. That's why I chose that, because it mimicked so closely what Catholic Central gave me. Absolutely.
Oh, sure. The brother.
Amazing.
Amazing, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I could tell stories, but when I showed up at Catholic Central, I was pretty shy, gawky, horrible acne. I was like, this is awful. I'm like, thank God it's a bunch of guys, right? And I said to my dad, I go, Dad, I don't fit in with anyone. I want to go back to Northville. And Dad said, go see Father Donaher. And there was a couple other misfits in there with Father Donaher, and I became his altar boy. I went to church every day at Catholic Central.
Wow.
And even through senior year and freshman, sophomore year, I was altar boy for Father. And then even junior, senior year, oh, Lou's here. Come on, Lou. Remember when you were a freshman and you were crying in my classroom and you were crying, didn't know what to do? I said, yeah, Father, I don't really want to talk about it right now. But yeah, he said, come on, Lou. And Father Donaher was just a miracle. He was great.
That is amazing. What did you end up studying or getting your degree in at the academy? Yeah,
at the academy, I got a Bachelor of Science, and I weighted it toward business and pre-law because even though I was a poor student, I still had a dream of going to law school.
You ended up going to law school, right?
I did.
Okay.
And that's another character story.
That's a great story.
I'll tell.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
that's a great story.
So I had gotten into business school, and Pat Nesbitt was my dad taught Pat. Pat went to the Air Force Academy. Obviously, went to Catholic Central. Went to the Air Force Academy. And when I graduated from the academy, Pat was mentoring me kind of the whole time. And I got stationed at LA Air Force Base, and I was doing space acquisitions. So basically, Space Force stuff.
Okay.
Top secret satellites and rockets and stuff like that. And great job, loved it. But I wanted to get another degree. And so I was going to go to business school. And Pat called me and said, what are you doing? I said, I'm at USC. I'm going to business school. He says, oh, what, Louis? Business school? You don't need business school. Go to law school. I said, Pat, I'm not smart enough to go to law school. I go, I've always dreamed of it. I said, I don't think I can do it. I don't think I'll do well on the test. He said, go take the LSAT and let me work on the rest. So I take the LSAT, didn't do that well. And a couple of my other buddies did really well. They were Air Force guys, and they were going to go to night law school as well. And I called Pat, and he says, let's go meet with the dean of Whittier Law School, because that's where Pat had graduated from. And we're sitting in front of the dean, and he said, I don't have a lot of time, but I want to let you know the only reason I'm sitting here is because Pat Nesbitt donated $1 million library to Whittier Law School. He said, because you don't have the academic credentials to be a successful law school student or lawyer. And I was like, well, that's really nice to meet you too. And so
imagine that.
And so
that's the first thing you're told.
I was
beginning.
I mean, it was quick. The meeting was 15 minutes. And he said, I want you to know you're on probation right from the start. Yeah. He said, you're on a short leash. And he says, we don't want to waste your time, and we don't want you to waste our time. Ours. And I said, well, at least you'll get some tuition out of me. So I was trying to lighten up the mood a little bit. And then I wound up getting, in law school, they rank you, like if you're number 1 in the class or number 2 for each class.
Sure.
And I remember I wound up in torts, contracts, con law. I was like between the number 1 and number 6 person in the class. And so at the end of 1L, first year of law school, the dean called me and said, I'm going to eat some humble pie here. He says, you did exceptionally well. We're shocked. And he said, we'd like to offer you a full scholarship.
Wow.
And I said, I appreciate that. I appreciate the call. I said, I transferred to Loyola Law School last night. So I transferred to a different law school.
So strong.
And it's,
so you must like when people kind of doubt you.
It's, I learned so many times, it's through sport or through priests or through my friends, you learn a lot here, and there's moments that just jump out at you that are defining moments in your life.
Yeah.
And, I apply those in my life, in business. I tell people, don't let me catch you sleeping, because we're going to come in and take the deal. And that's Catholic Central and the Air Force Academy. And
I'll outwork you.
That's it.
Yeah.
People ask me, how'd you do that? What's your secret? What's the trick?
No secret.
We just worked.
Yeah.
Hard work.
Hard work.
That's
Great
it.
foundation here
Wow.
at CC, right? Amazing.
Yeah. And it's all because I wasn't the smartest. I wasn't the fastest. I wasn't the best.
So you had to.
But the coaches just get it out of you.
Kept pushing you.
They keep pushing you.
Yeah.
And encouraging you too. At the same time they're pushing you, they are encouraging you. It's a fine line between breaking you down and rebuilding you, and giving you the confidence to be exceptional.
Totally.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. That's an impressive story. And then go on to your business and career side of things.
Yeah.
Kind of walk me through that a little bit. First, I guess right out of college, what were you expecting to do, and then what did you end up doing?
So I chose the Air Force Academy because I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up. So when you're in the Air Force, you graduate from the academy, you have a 5-year commitment right after you graduate.
Mm-hmm.
So I got into, space acquisitions, and it was the business side of the Air Force. It gave me time to learn and have a lot of responsibility and also get another degree.
Mm-hmm.
And so after I did that for 5 years, I went and worked for Pat Nesbitt, building hotels and
hospitality,
strip malls. Yeah, I built his house in Santa Barbara. I built. He's a rather large house estate in Santa Barbara.
I think I've seen it on YouTube before.
Yeah,
it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty wild. And so I built that, and then after I stopped working for him, I went on my own, and I did built houses, did some real estate development, and then some guys from a guy named Tim Turner and Chris Hauska. Chris Hauska's nephew went to Catholic Central, Mark's son. They were Bishop Borges guys, and they kept kind of coming around, and because I was hanging out at this golf club, and they kept saying, "Why don't you do insurance?" I was like, I don't know. And they belong to a country club. They're driving a BMW. I said, well, maybe I should do insurance. It sounds like a pretty good gig.
Not bad.
Play a little golf, eat some steak dinners, and Tim Turner. The way he closed me is he walks into a party one time and I'm there, and he sees me and he says, Lou Yeager, he says, the Wham never loses yardage. And I'm like, I look at him, I'm like, what? Who in the hell is this? And he goes, Tim Turner, Bishop Borges, class of, I think, 1981 or something. And I'm like, how do you know the Wham never loses yardage? He goes, you guys beat our heads in.
You guys used to run that play on us 100 times a game.
And then he says, Tony Magny, let's call Coach Magny. I'm like, how do you know Coach Magny? Call Coach Magny. And he goes, of course I know Timmy Turner. He's the best high jumper there was. And I'm like, what in the world is going on?
Yeah.
And
connections.
They convinced me to do it. And it was the best thing that ever happened to me.
And now you've been doing that.
I've been doing that for 20 years. Yeah, I started doing that in 2005, and I've been doing that for 20 years. And we all, Tim was the Pied Piper, and we joined a guy named Pat Ryan, and then the company went public 4 years ago.
Wow,
yeah.
Amazing!
That's incredible.
Yeah,
walk me through a little bit of the business side of things, because I like business. So what exactly is it? Are you selling insurance?
Yeah.
Or is it?
Yeah. So,
and how does that exactly work? What's in it for the consumer? What's in it for you guys?
So we are a wholesale broker. So we do high risk. We do insurance for high risk businesses. So if you're a real estate developer building condos in New York City or Florida or anything, we do that. Rail projects, entertainment projects, med mal, doctors, lawyers, insurance. The diocese, Diocese of Detroit or Boston or whatever that has had some problems in the past. That's all we do. And our job is to really make a market for high-risk businesses insurance. And my background in real estate, law, construction lined up perfectly for me to be a wholesale broker because I focus on real estate and construction.
Yeah.
And the reason I got into it because it had, number one, it's recession proof. Typically, insurance, you always need it.
You always need it.
It's mission critical, right?
Yeah.
Everybody has to have insurance, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Catholic Central open the doors, has to have insurance.
Yeah.
So I like that. And the recession proof was pretty attractive. And it gave me the opportunity to tap into something I never knew I had, which is a personality. Right? I didn't know I could sell, and it pushed me into a really uncomfortable position because you're on a draw, right? So I'm a single dad. I've got a 4-year-old daughter, and I'm on a draw, right? So you better figure it out fast. So
very fast.
So the 4 a.m. club, that's a real thing, right?
Yeah.
Guys that are successful, they get up early and it's a lot of times stay up late. But it's but the discipline, the organization, the never giving up that you learn through Catholic Central. You show up every day, and you just keep working.
So mainly commission based.
All commission based.
All commission based.
Yeah,
so if you don't sell, you don't eat.
You don't get anything.
Nope. End of the year, are you eating peanut butter and jelly or steak?
Yeah.
Wow.
So make your mind up which one you want it to be.
Oh, so you guys probably hit it off.
Yeah.
Oh, the
completely.
minute we started talking, that was my life, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Up until now, until 4 months ago.
That's unbelievable.
Great addition. I mean, just
I appreciate that, Lou.
Yeah.
I'm
Great
telling.
addition.
That's when me and Sean met him. We got to introduce him to
Dad.
President Eric Dad.
Yeah.
What a story.
Yeah, it's incredible. He's just, and he's got a bunch of stories. Every time I see him, he goes, "Did I tell you that one yet?"
Yeah.
So many, right?
Yeah.
It's part of life. And when you are in commission sales, as you know, Lou, you have to be more creative than you've ever been because you have to figure it out because there's really no tomorrow.
Yeah.
You get these short windows with people who are going to be buying your product or service. You have to close it then. It's not tomorrow. It's not, well, we'll get back to you. It's now.
Yeah.
So that's why you were under the gun. I had 2 babies and a wife. I had to figure it out.
Yeah.
So that's what we did.
You have a need. I have a solution. We got to make it work.
Yeah. And if I don't have the solution, I'm going to
figure out what it is.
And figure it out.
That's it. You find a solution.
You find
the solution.
You got to be fast on your feet. And it's very much like we're doing here, right? We're kind of revamping the way we tell our stories because that's what it is, right?
For sure.
People don't buy what you do. They buy why you do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
So here at Catholic Central, it's the why we got to get across, not what we do. It's not we're fundraising. We are creating more history here at CC because of the great foundation we have, and we want to make it sustainable.
We want to make it better.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And the infinite game of business is the infinite game of fundraising because it used to be, as you know, Lou, we'd have a start date and an end date. Well, there's no finish line. There's no finish line in life and in sports.
Nope.
In bid, there's no finish line. There's no clock. Nope. So if we don't adopt the infinite game of fundraising, then we're just going to be always what we've been. Seven most deadly words. It's the way we've always done it.
And the reason that I am so passionate about Catholic Central is there's never been a day I showed up at Catholic Central where someone said, "Oh, you're really not allowed to be in here. Who are you?"
Yeah.
It's a welcome. Come on in. Are you here to meet someone? And can I get you to their office? And they'll introduce themselves, or they'll say, "How are you affiliated with Catholic Central?" And then they'll take you right. You'll run into someone.
It's a second family.
It's a second family.
It's home.
It's home.
It's home.
Yeah.
And who doesn't want to be a part of something bigger than themselves?
Well said.
I think that's I honestly think that's its whole marketing.
Yeah.
The whole entire marketing of the whys. It's home.
Yeah, it is home.
For whatever reason, different people, different backgrounds, but it's still one home.
And it's simple to understand, right? Because everybody wants to feel like they're home,
Yeah.
Everyone knows the home feeling of what it's like to be comfortable and to walk in somewhere and feel
welcome.
And
safe.
Yeah.
And valued. So it's good.
But I knew he could sell when someone asked about, well, why do you guys have the plane hanging up and there? That's a expensive thing.
Yeah.
You guys could have done something else with that money, and he hit him with the you do it.
No, go ahead.
He just hits him with the, well, of course we need a plane. Why wouldn't we have a plane? We need a plane to inspire the next generation of people. And he was like, I was like, okay,
but that's it. That's it.
It's exactly.
Catholics, you come to Catholic Central to dream big and do great things.
Yeah.
Right? That's the opportunity it affords you. I used to think that the world, before I came to CC and I met some influential people, I used to think the world was Detroit. And I love Detroit, the best people in the world. but there's a big world out there. And there's a lot of opportunity.
You can dream big.
You can dream big.
Always.
Yeah.
Especially if you come to a place that gives you the foundation that Catholic Central does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let yourself stretch a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Get out of keep you uncomfortable. But you get comfortable but being uncomfortable.
Seek discomfort.
Oh, yeah.
You'll fail here.
Oh, 100%.
It's fun. I mean, it's embarrassing. It's humiliating, and everybody goes through it.
Yeah.
But that's the whole purpose.
Yeah, you come out the other end so much better. Amazing.
Yeah, you usually don't learn too much when you're on a winning streak.
Oh, you learn when you.
But you learn when you kind of eat it a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah, no losing, just learning, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we do.
I can remember I was a junior playing football, and I was going through all the motions and working out hard, and really I bought into the program. Coach Mack, Coach Lewis, Coach Karate, I was bought in, Coach Fortune. And one day Coach Lewis at the end of junior year grabbed me and he looked at me and he said, "Lou, you can dominate the Catholic League next year." And I looked at him. I thought like Krieger was standing behind me. I was like, "What?" He said, "Hit the weight room, get with Hauncher, run routes all summer long, train all summer long." And he said, "You can be All-State." No one had ever said that to me. Okay, so I was a pretty insecure, I was unsure of myself at that age.
Mm-hmm. Everyone is.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, everyone is.
Always questioning. Yeah, always.
But he believed. He believed in me. And I was like, wow, look at that.
Mm-hmm.
And he was right. I did everything, and I failed a lot, but boy, I the right people noticed me at the right time, and I did well.
Things worked out. Yeah,
best coaches ever. They are the best coaches you'll ever have, because they find that little spark. They do.
Yeah,
it was all I needed. Right? It was all I needed. It was from someone I really respected, Coach Lewis.
Yeah, it doesn't take much, right? From the right person, the right words.
Because sometimes you think about it in your own head, but you're like, I don't know if I can do it. But as soon as someone says like, you might be able to do it.
Right.
Then it unlocks something to go to the next level.
A dream with action. Right?
Yeah.
A dream with action.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's fascinating, how powerful you can become when you have that.
That must be why you like sports a lot then too. Because sports is kind of the culmination of all this.
Yeah. And that's why I like sales.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's a sport, kind of.
It's not even kind of. The best salesmen at our company
are athletes.
All ex-athletes. Baseball player, wrestler, football players. A couple of women tennis players, soccer players.
Baseball players. Like if I go 1-3, I'm doing good.
Yeah,
Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame.
That's it.
That's the mentality.
That's what he thinks. That's exactly how he thinks. Lou, if I land 1 of 3 counts, I'm
golden, right?
Yeah, I'll be fine.
That's right.
I'll be Hall of Fame.
I'm like, gosh, if I get 1 out of 10, I'm doing good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fascinating though, right?
It's that athletic discipline.
It makes complete sense.
Yeah. Just keep grinding. That's what athletics tells you, right?
It's so important. Grinding. You just said the word, and we all talk about it, right?
You got to grind.
Grind.
Yeah.
Process. Fall in love with the process, not the result.
Yeah.
That's hard to do in today's society.
Yeah, sure.
Instant gratification is kind of here.
What I was telling Lou yesterday, when I was in the position to being responsible for the revenue, whether it was at Timberland with Wall Street and having to report to the street every quarter, Lou, as you know, what I wanted to get across to not only the salespeople, but everybody in the organization, whether they had a sales title or not, was in sales. Whether you're customer service, whether you're the front desk, you are selling the brand every time you interact, regardless of where you interact.
Disney.
So, yeah.
Disney.
And the focus has to be, you're going to never stop selling.
Yeah.
And that's what we tried to get across.
Because
I never worried. Sorry, Stephen. I never is a strong word. I rarely worried about the revenue. I would always reflect back to the process. If you lock into a proven process, the revenue comes. It may not come exactly as you plan it, and that was the most difficulty, Lou, I had with Wall Street, because they expected to be scientific. But when they got to outside of the 30-minute call, when the investors would come and they would get an idea that wow, there is a plan.
That's right.
Maybe I can't say it in public, but okay, we believe in you. So it changes everything. And changes everything, Lou.
And that is when I finally became successful being a good broker. I realized, just like Catholic Central does, culture's king.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Culture is king. And every single person from the entry level to the broker is a part of that team, part of that culture, part of that process. And they're always selling.
Always.
It's always a reflection.
You never know where it's going to come from either.
No.
You just, because if you don't interact, if you don't talk about who you are, what you do, and why you do it, then it's self-limiting. Yeah. But what is unlimiting is by just talking about everything that drives your passion.
Yeah.
No,
and when people know you're when people know you are a grinder, they want to draft off that because there's something magical about it, whether they believe in themselves or not.
Yeah. That momentum is.
They want to
real.
be a part. I got to figure this out. I got to be a part of it.
That's Charlie.
Well, thank you. But even if they don't know anything about it, I got to come and meet you on a tennis court.
I don't want to miss out. Yeah, it's like FOMO.
Yeah,
100%.
Amanda Lofler would never play tennis in her life. I'm going. I never played. Let's go. I'm a lefty. But she's out on a tennis court.
But
it's the energy thing.
That's the energy. Yeah. You have it, right? And
it's powerful here.
It's why your coaches, your teachers, they believe.
Yeah.
Right. They believe in the school. They believe in the process. They believe in the character, and that's real.
And you never know where it's going to come from.
Yeah.
No.
It's like with Charlie. Like if we went into Ed's office, we said, "You got to meet our JV tennis coach, assistant JV tennis coach." And he goes, "What? I think I know him, but what do I got to meet him for?"
Yeah.
Because you just don't know.
Never know.
You don't know where it'll come from. It could come from custodial staff. It could come from it could come from anyone that's here. I think that's the important part, is that everyone here does kind of treat people well, respect people, and open to listen.
The least amongst us.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. It's biblical.
Still our brother.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
The one of the reasons I liked that scoreboard, right? One of the reasons I thought that was important, not only because everybody in Texas has one, and I hang out in Texas a lot, and I'm like, we got to get one of these, right? But there's so many stories to be told. And I feel like the more you can let, and I don't know how many clubs you all have now, so I'm ignorant to that. But
40 plus, I think.
Chess club, esports club, debate club, Model United Nations, debate. There'll be a kid sitting in the stands, right? And he's in the 5th grade or the 6th grade, and he'll see something flash up on that screen. One Shamrock, here's who we are. And that'll motivate him. And it may draw something out of him, right? And that's why I think that this, the one Shamrock mindset you guys have, the motto is that is it. Mm-hmm. That really is something. It's a great foundation.
Yeah, it resonates big time.
Because it transfers back to us. Not only are the kids the one Shamrock, we get to be a part of one Shamrock too.
Yeah.
For life.
As
alumni,
has-beens, right?
Parents, friends. It doesn't matter. If you're connected, it's still
absolutely
one Shamrock.
No, it's very strong.
And it's great because no one's better than anyone else when it's one Shamrock. We're all equal.
It's a team.
100%.
Yeah.
No, it's amazing.
Yeah.
For sure.
And that's when you accomplish things, is when you figure out it's not me versus you, but
that's right.
It's us versus a problem.
It's and it can be me versus you a little bit, right?
Well, competitiveness.
Iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, you're going to have a couple kids come in on the esports and they're going to be really good and they're going to go at it and they're going to, one's going to win, one's going to lose.
100%.
Boy, but that iron sharpens iron just keeps driving you to get more and more out of yourself.
Oh, I could name it 100 times when someone comes in and gets beat up on for 4 years, and then by the senior year, they're amazing.
That's right.
And a couple of years ago, I listened to Simon Sinek. I don't know if you listened to him at all. And
love him.
He talked a little bit about the Navy SEALs. And you would think the most elite group in the world would always want high trust and high talent. Mm-hmm. But ultimately, that high talent person sometimes may not be the most trustworthy. So when it's life or death, you will take a high trust, mid talent grinder over the low trust, high talented individual. And one of the things, Lou, and I mentioned it yesterday when I was talking to you, when I said the prayer for the Brother Rice tennis match and wrote down on my clipboard and called my wife and said, babe, I don't know. I got to figure out how to get here. And that was months before I ever came here. But it's the one thing here, because at Catholic Central, we do things not because we have to, but because Lou sitting beside me would do it for me. And that powerful message is life-changing. It changes, as you know, Lou, it changes businesses. It changes organizations, because if you have that level of trust within an organization, within the enterprise of Catholic Central, that's when the magic happens. And
I agree 1,000%.
Thank you, Lou. And what happens then is divine intervention feels it. I can't describe it. I don't know. I look back and I said, how did this happen?
Yeah.
Well, it's the universe that sees
a bigger force.
It sees a bigger force. And that's, I believe it as I get older, Lou. It's amazing, Stephen and Sean. It's just amazing that those forces come together.
And you got to say yes or be open to it.
You can't.
You just know it.
You just know it.
You do.
Would I have expected to raise my hand and say, yep, I'll take that? Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Never in my life. And that's the beauty of Catholic Central in so many ways.
It is because you can take shortcuts, right? And I go through this with my business partner all the time. My gosh, we're not, we got to grow. We got to grow. Focus on the process. Stay with the process.
Yep.
Don't take shortcuts. Because we battle this all the time, right? Because if you take shortcuts, you can get some spurts, right?
Sure.
But do you alienate the core customers that are loyal to you?
That you're serving.
Absolutely.
1,000%.
CC's the same way. You can take a shortcut. You can kid yourself to success. Just like public companies.
Absolutely.
Wall Street's finicky.
Oh, you can massage the numbers any way you want to, but it's not but it's not real.
But the culture.
Yeah.
I say it all the time. It's so cliche-ish, but culture's king. And that's where the goodness, discipline, and knowledge comes in. Right? If you're sticking to those principles, you will be successful. Not in your time. It is never going to come in your time.
Yeah.
But it will come. And it won't be what you expect. It'll be something totally different.
Completely
different.
Yeah.
And at Carhartt, one of the things that drew me to them to stay there for 22 years, because so many apparel companies, there are variances in a size 34 jean. And a lot of the people have fit variances that are, it could be a 35 and a half, and it could be a 33 and a half, and they still call it a 34. So imagine going to the store, and we knew, Stephen and Lou, that our consumer never purchased eaches. They bought bunches. And most oftentimes, 57% of the purchases at Carhartt, this $2 billion company, Lou, was by the significant other. So Mary went to the store for Joe to get 6 pairs of size 34 carpenter jeans, and he would get them home, and one would fit and one wouldn't. At Carhartt, they never compromised, and the fit variances were less than a quarter of an inch. And talk about not taking shortcuts. Lou, our run rate on closeouts was extraordinary. And our family-owned company, Mark Valet, the CEO, my good friend, didn't care.
Yeah.
We are going to only put product out there that speaks to the quality of who we are and what we expect from. We want our product to reflect who we are. The same thing at Catholic Central, which I think we talked about on our first meeting with you and Stephen and Sean in that room. The quality of Catholic Central is non-compromisable. It can't be compromised, because if it is, then we lower.
It's not us.
It's not us, and we never would, because it's an integral part of who we are. So
to that point, and Catholic Central always has an honor code. The Air Force Academy has an honor code on steroids. If you get caught cheating or tolerate anyone among you that cheats, they will kick you out.
Take it to the next step.
Yeah, and I can remember sitting there, heading into a final exam freshman year, and I studied all night for chemistry. Me and chemistry didn't get along. And the head of the chemistry department, who also was our academic liaison for the football team, he said, Louie, take your D. He goes, there's going to be some kids that are going to take a shortcut on this test that have really low grades. He said, take your D. You can take it in summer school, and we'll get you up to a B. Don't compromise your integrity.
Wow.
Absolutely. And I took a couple of D's at the Air Force Academy. Yeah. And I wound up taking those classes in summer school to get them up.
Mm-hmm.
And lifelong lesson, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Great guy. But that's the foundation.
They say go play golf with someone.
That you learn. You learn a lot.
You learn a lot.
Easiest way to figure out if you've got a client that is going to be forthright is if they're fudging that golf card. It's the easiest way in the world.
If they're doing a few little things here and there to make that score look better.
The biggest is, are they fudging their handicap?
Yeah.
I play golf with some athletes from time to time, and some of them, they'll fudge that handicap and they'll go out there and smoke you, and you're like, oh, come on, man, come on.
Wow. Amazing.
Golf course.
Yeah.
Easiest way to do it. Cards, golf course, little things.
Yeah.
Right.
Just see how people interact with you.
We had at CART, when we were hiring and we were scaling, I think I told you we were stuck at $500 million for 3 or 4 years. But then we had to hire up and hire higher level talent, right?
Yeah.
And CART knew of my loss of my friend Charlie Casper in 9/11. So David Susan, several years later, wrote a book called The Requiem. It's a coffee table book that has all of the Carhartt donations, because, Lou, I didn't mention this to you. I wasn't sure I was in the right place at Carhartt when I moved from New York. Mm-hmm. And my mother, God rest her soul, who would say the rosary every morning at 5:30, I would call her and I'd say, Mom, something, because I moved here in April and Renee and the girls came in August, and I was by myself. And I'd have like a crock pot in my corner of my room, and I'd have a note from Lori Zonk, who said, I know you're healthy. It's a crock pot. It's heavy on vegetables. There's a little bit of beef in it for protein. If you plug it in now, it'll be ready. You can eat it at 5 o'clock. And I would call my mother, Lou, and say, Mom, something's wrong. People here are too nice. She said, what are you doubting? What are you doubting? Yeah. God put you in this place. But someday there'll be a sign for you. And I know I told you this before, so sorry.
I love hearing it.
9/11 happens, and Lou, my mother lived at the 10th floor of a condo building on Staten Island overlooking the Verrazano Narrows, and she would pray at her picture window and overlooking World Trade Center. And the first person into my office was Mark Verlade, our CEO, and he said, Charlie, how's your mom? I said, she's okay. She's okay, shook up for sure. He said, you're most connected of anybody in our company to New York City. Please call them and ask them what we can do to help. So I called Mitchell Modell from Modell Sporting Goods, who I knew for 20 years. I said, Mitchell, it's Charlie. How's Robin? And the girl's great. And I'd always talk about my mother in business because people relate to authenticity, right? And my mother and my father were my heroes. And she said, how's your mom? I said, she's okay. I said, Mitchell, we want to do something for the people at Ground Zero. We want to help them, but we want no publicity, but I need to know what you need from Carhartt to help you. So Bernard Currig, the former police commissioner, calls me at 1 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday, which would have been the 12th, and says we need bib overalls, we need socks and gloves. And I remember back to May when I spoke to my mother, she said there'd be a sign. This was the sign for me. Because I went into the office the next day, told Mark what we needed with my good friend Steve Carter, God rest his soul, who was my partner in sales. And by noon on Sunday, Carhartt delivered 10,000 pair of coveralls, 14,000 pair of gloves, and 12,000 pair of socks. And we didn't want any publicity. We just wanted to do it. So I knew I was in the right place. But it kept, and what happens, Lou and Steven and Sean, when you know you're in the right place, the signs to affirm that keep happening, just like here at CC. Meeting you, it's affirming itself, and you're saying, hey, he's not affiliated, but I think he can do a good job here.
Absolutely.
So it's continuing to affirm itself. Yeah. So when I got that, they found out for Catholic Center that I lost my friend who taught me tennis. They gave me this coffee table book, and this is where it gets mystical. because in that book, it was a pictorial of all of the heroes at Ground Zero in our Carhartt bib overalls. And it was amazing. And what we would do, Lou, with any of the higher level people that we were going to hire, they would go through the normal kind of BS HR questions. Mm-hmm. The last stop would be my desk. Mm. And I would tell them the 9/11 story. But then I would tell them what I'm about to tell the two of you now, because in the 10th anniversary of 9/11, I got a phone call from a groomsman in my wedding, Tom McGough, who said, "Hey, Charlie, it's Tommy McGough. Life happens. We went our separate ways. I called you to tell you I love you. Please call me back." So I called Tommy McGough back, who's my friend since 1963 in the neighborhood. I asked Tommy, "What's up?" He says, "I love you, brother." I said, "What's going on?" He said, "Well, I moved from being a police officer to a fireman, and I went into Bozo's Army Navy on Staten Island to buy my annual Thermaline Carhartt hooded sweatshirt. And I was speaking to Mike Parenti, and he said, you know what that Carhartt company did? They sent stuff to Ground Zero. And the kid who sold Hanes underwear, Charlie Syracuse, he's like working there now." Tommy says, "Charlie Syracuse, that's my best friend from 1963. So Tommy called me to tell me he loved me because he found out that Carhartt was delivered the goods to Ground Zero. As I'm on the phone with Tommy, I said, "Tommy, they got me a book called The Requiem." And Tommy starts sobbing. He had the same book on his coffee table. Whoa. Through his sobs, he says, "Do me a favor. Turn to page 96. Mm. I turned to page 96. There's Tommy McGough over a fallen hero draped an American flag in our product that we donated. And I would share that story with people. And if there was zero emotional impact and he just wanted the job, Lou, we never hired him.
Pass.
Wow.
Passed. And if it was the third choice and they came to my office and they said, "Charlie, got tissues because I can't believe this story and I can't wait to get here because I want to be part of this feeling that I'm feeling," I'd go upstairs to Mark Verlade. He says, "The guy or the gal we got to hire." So it was a great way to have people define themselves before we ever give them the job. Powerful, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. It's and Sean and Lou, just so you know the kind of, and I know you know this. So it's 9/11 and I'm playing tennis with VJ on the courts. Sean comes out with Heather with a camera because they know my story. They take pictures of me on a tennis court and they put it in an article, right, Sean?
Yeah.
And I'm holding the book and I sent that picture to Lauren Casper, Charlie's widow, and she said, "My request of you to teach people the joy of tennis since February of 2002, you're still doing that 22 years later." Yeah. So it's and that's the beauty, the same beauty of CC, are those feelings that people want to be a part of, because those affirmations keep coming. It's almost daily. And I'll tell you a quick story. We walked around yesterday with Justin Sasanti's dad, who had never seen everything here. And I am walking through these halls, and I've walked through these halls for 4 months. Mm-hmm. I am literally on the verge of tears that this kid from New York City, who knew nothing about nothing, and has seen the shit of the shit. And I'm here at Catholic Central. The blessings are beyond belief.
Yeah.
Beyond belief.
Yeah.
Beyond measure. And that's the message when I'm going to the beach for 2 weeks with my daughters. And that's the conversation at the beach.
Wow.
The conversation at the beach with my son-in-laws and my daughters will be, the blessings that you have, you must realize, are in your life for a reason. And your job is to find out what the reason is.
Yeah.
That's it. It's an art. If it's every day.
It's every day. It's every day. And that's what I feel every day coming here. I couldn't wait to get here today. I can't wait to get here every day, but I couldn't wait to get here today.
Isn't it weird?
Yeah.
That's the thing I always tell people is they ask me, "How do you like your job?" And I usually tell them I love it. And I'm excited to go to sleep. So the next day I can come in.
I can't wait.
It's Catholic Central is as close to the military unit camaraderie you can get. because when you leave the military and you go into the public sector, it's just a bunch of individuals.
Yeah.
And you lose, you're a little lost. You're like, gosh, where's that camaraderie? Where's that sense of greater good, purpose? And you lose that.
Yeah.
Unless you can create it with your own team.
That's right.
But I think people like to work and then, although, it's funny because when you're in college, they tell you one of the worst things that you could hear at a company, this is what they tell you in college, at least it was what they told me. One of the worst things you could hear from a company is that we're a family or that we're a team. And it's because they're going to expect more than you than how they treat you. So that's what they teach you. But really, when you think about it, I don't know if I'd be able to work for a company if it wasn't a family.
Yeah.
Once you're here, you may have to do that from a compensatory standpoint, but you're never really going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
But when you find the safety of a place like Catholic Central, it's really not a job.
No, it's a lifestyle.
That's what you're trying to create is a lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
Where it's really not a job,
It's a blend.
Completely.
Where there's no such thing as work-life balance. It's just your work is your life. And that's
They asked Wayne Gretzky during the NHL playoffs, essentially, why were you so great? What made you so great? What gave you the motivation? He said, I love the sport of hockey. He goes, I love it. He goes, it's never been a job to me. He said, so I can't really relate to these other leagues.
Yeah. Because
the NHL is loaded with men that love hockey. They love the sport. Well, if you love what you do, it never becomes a job.
Never.
And you're always respectful of it. So you're always willing to give more than it gives you, if that makes sense. You're always trying to give back.
It sure does, Lou.
And
because it becomes about process.
Yeah.
That kind of reminds me of my dad a little bit.
You often mention that to me.
Just because of
your dad.
because he always, growing up, he did commercial development, and he always told people, I don't have a job, or he'd say I'm jobless, or because he worked for himself, and he was always home with us. But then growing up, you start to think about it, you're like, holy smokes, no, that was probably pretty tough.
Yeah.
Tough work, but just he was like, no, I don't have it. He would always tell people, I do not have a job, but he did have a job. It was for himself, and that was the way he would operate because he focused on the process, on doing deals, he never cared about end goal. He always say that money will come, whatever. But if you work,
follow the process.
And if you take care of your people,
essential,
and you treat them as if you want to be treated, because you can, in today's world, you can exploit people. You can underpay them, overwork them.
Yeah, grind them out
because people need jobs right now. But if you treat them as you want to be treated, respected, the culture you create is unstoppable. And
very fair.
That's what this is.
Or what Charlie said, which is you take it up a level and you incentivize the kind of
incentivize the behavior you want to modify.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And you do it in a way that lets them feel it was their own doing. Their own doing. They've reached that level only because you gave them levers, not because you gave them anything else.
Absolutely.
You said you had guys
give them ownership
that would go and sell their goal, and then by July be golfing.
Well, that was the game changer. That's why we were stuck, because we gave guys a goal and they'd get to their $5 million goal and they'd get there by September 2nd. They're not going to get paid anymore if they sell anymore.
Yeah.
Well, eye-opening when I sent me to Northwestern for 2 weeks was, well, if you want to accelerate sales performance, you should incentivize them for selling more.
Absolutely.
And we put a 3% bogey on every dollar over and above, and we uncapped it and let them just go full throttle.
And you saw guys just jump at it.
Oh, guys that were making 100 were making 600.
Oh,
that's why I got into insurance. There's no cap.
There's no caps.
My revenue model is my revenue model. And when you sell more, they don't take that cap and say, oh, you're making enough.
Yeah.
They don't do that. Keep going.
Whatever you can do.
We
become your best.
We wanted them to continue to.
Yeah.
I wonder why a company would not do that.
Well, again, I couldn't. So VF Corporation, $13 billion entity. I was a part of the $2 billion entity in Timberland. They were very resistant to that until we're stuck.
They saw the results.
Well, you got a great brand. You got a great story to tell. You got great people. Let's incentivize them. Business takes off.
The worst thing you can do to someone who wants to be great is limit their level of greatness.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the worst thing in the world.
Put a cap on it.
It's the worst thing in the world you can do.
Yeah, make it limitless.
Oh, don't do that.
I want you to do 5 million. Why 5?
Why 5?
Why not 50? Or
what can't it be 12?
Yeah.
And pay me 3 cents on the dollar? Are you kidding me?
When I came to work for RT Specialty, it's Ryan Turner Specialty, Pat Ryan, Tim Turner. And I said, this is where I want my book to be. And Pat looked at me with Tim and they said, why? Oh, it's like triple what I'm doing right now. They're like, well, you can be doing multiples of that.
Wow.
As good as you can be. And I'm looking at these guys. I'm like, this is another moment. I'm like, I've never sold that much. I don't know, blah, blah, blah. Do it. Just do it. Follow the process. Keep setting high goals. And I've gone past what they thought I could do. Right?
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
Do you remember your first sale?
I do. It's kind of a funny story. So when I first got into insurance, they had me focusing on professional liability, doctors, lawyers, etc. Those are smaller premiums and a high volume, so hard to break in. And I was on a draw, and I was out on a hunting trip with Chris Hauska, and who's Mark Hauska's brother. And I said, Chris, in about 6 months, you're going to fire me, if not sooner, because I'm not selling enough. And I said, I really understand real estate and construction. And I said, why don't you go let me chase real estate developers and contractors? And we're on a hunting trip. We're walking through a dry riverbed. And we'd been up since 3 a.m. hunting wild pigs. It's probably 10. I think the bus left us, the Jeep left us. We were going to walk all the way back to the lodge. And he said, really, Lou? I said, yes, I can sell real estate. I can sell general liability for contractors and real estate. And he takes his gun and he goes, I hereby knight you a casualty broker. And I said, no shit? He said, yeah. And I ran out of the dry riverbed all the way back to the cabin, about 3 miles. I'm like a rucksack. I'm running. I got my gun. I'm running. Got in the rental car that I had rented, drove into San Francisco, showered, went and called on my first agent, picked up a deal that day. That was it. That day, I ran right out of there.
Amazing.
I was so desperate to be successful.
Your first sale was convincing.
That was my first sale.
To switch.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah. Amazing.
And I did $1 million in revenue that year.
Wow.
Just like that. From 12 months from that, I did $1.2 million in revenue.
And you probably felt comfortable kind of at home with the information.
I understood it. They were my people.
Yeah.
Right. I could add value to real estate developers based on what I had experienced.
Your knowledge, sure.
Working for Pat Nesbitt and working for myself. I'd done a lot of litigation. I'd done a lot of projects that were turnaround projects that had a lot of problems. And it suited me.
Wow.
And it's suited me to this day. Right.
It's incredible.
For sure. And dreaming big, as Lou mentioned.
Yeah.
So I get to become the chief growth officer of this startup company in Lloydminster, Alberta. And they're doing 18 million online only, want to break into retail. And they hired me to bring them to retail because that's where I had my experience, right? The brick and mortar. So I introduced them to an organization called the Mid-States Group. So do 8 billion in revenue, 34 owners, 800 doors. I need to introduce them to that. But one of the things I told these 2 young entrepreneurs was, we can't start quiet. We got to start big.
Got to be loud.
You got to be loud and you got to trust it. So typically when people go to the Mid-States show, Lou, they take a 10 by 10 booth and they look like everybody else. I says, I want a 40 by 40 booth and I want it on Main Street. Charge me double if you have to. I've known you for 30 years. I've driven millions and millions of dollars to your enterprise. I would appreciate it if you didn't charge me double, but give me the best real estate. So we get the big space. I call my friends at Grand and Benedict to give us fixtures because the theory is, like Ralph Lauren said, if you're a brand, you want to invite people into your movie. So I wanted to make this the biggest, baddest booth we could ever have. We hired the chief merchandisers to come in. They made it look like it was a dirty hands, clean money movie. They came in, but we weren't done yet because Louis had just launched a blue collar bourbon called 5-9 Whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, we're gonna host a party at a dive bar in Phoenix. So we got Chad Ward, a master barbecue guy, the director of marketing for Traeger Grills, to cook. Tim Montana was a big Carhartt fan, so I called in a Chip. I said, Tim, here's what I want you to do. I want you to rock the house down at this shitty dive bar in Phoenix at 9 o'clock at night after the show was over.
Yeah.
We're going to pick all the buyers up in stretch limousines. And I had the ASU cheerleaders pouring shots of bourbon from the hotel to the dive bar.
Absolutely.
The first year in business with the Mid-States, we went from 0 to 5 million. And the 18 million became 52 million in 30 months. Because you put a little bit of dreaming big
Absolutely
into the minds of young entrepreneurs who don't believe it, but they would love to have it, and just put them on your back and take them. Well, with a great team. It's not just me. It's a great team.
But it goes back to what you said. Catholic Central makes you feel special every time you're here.
Yeah. Every time.
So you took someone that didn't think they could be successful, and you gave them that feeling.
Yeah.
Just like the Ralph Lauren with the movie.
Yeah, same thing.
You did the same thing.
That's my favorite thing.
And it just
that's my favorite thing. Invite them into your movie.
Oh,
Ralph Lauren does that better than anyone in the retail sales. It's a vibe. He wants when you're designing a home, he wants his furniture to make you think you're in The Great Gatsby.
That's right. Everything.
Yeah.
Whether it's towels, sheets, pillowcases, bedding, a T-shirt. And the funny story is, so I get my job at Timberland. I'm at my first national sales meeting, and I said something I probably shouldn't have said. I said, every day when you guys wake up, you got to fight 60 of me.
Wow.
You got to fight 60 people like me who want your wallet. Your job is to displace Carhartt from the marketplace, and that's what you need to do. Lisa Parmalee was in a kind of a mid-level position, but I knew she was, I know you know, Lou, you know when you know somebody's destined for greatness.
Yeah.
So Lisa and I stay in touch, and I would always talk about inviting people into a movie. So I get a text from Lisa about 3 years ago that said, I'm starring in the movie. She's the CFO for Ralph Lauren North America.
Wow.
So it's just these amazing, she said, I don't know whether it was because you talked about a movie that I didn't know about when I was 27 years old, but I'm here now and I'm the CFO. It's amazing, Lou, the things that happen.
But that's what you're trying and will be doing over the coming years.
Yeah.
But that's why people are drawn to this.
Yeah. No question.
Right? You're walking in.
That's why I said I might not leave, because I see I just see the 30-year plan, the vision for it.
It's amazing.
Come into the movie, see what we see.
But look at the characters you have in the movie.
Yeah.
Look at all the great people here.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
It's mind-boggling.
It
really is.
Mind-boggling. It really is. No, it's good stuff. And Ed, yesterday we were just talking, because when I come back from vacation, I'm going to start full time, right?
Yeah.
And I said to Ed, brother, I just want to share this with you. Health is my wealth. My fitness is my heroin. I get up at 3:53. Hour and minute has to match because I'm so OCD about it. These are the things I need to do. And you've been very tolerant. I might be in 18, 27, 30 minutes late because I'm in the middle of a second set out here. Aaron gave me the key to his shower so I can shower, so I feel like I'm home. So he stops me and he said, I don't know if you're going to publish this, Sean, but I'm going to just share it anyway, okay? He said to me,
some of these parts might not make it to the podcast.
It's all getting in
we'll
there.
just skip forward.
but knowing Eddie said, look, I know you're at the end of your career. Him saying this, we're blessed to have you here. I want you here for as long as you can be here. And if that means you need to do it 3 days a week, 4 days a week, you need to take Renee to lunch or dinner a little bit more frequently, don't have to ask me. Just do it. And to have that in a short period of time, Lou, that kind of confidence in brotherhood said everything I needed to know.
Yeah.
And now I want to work 9 days a week rather than 4 or 5.
But you also pick up the phone at 9 or 10 o'clock or midnight or 2 a.m. Send me.
I do.
You'll send me Instagram reels to inspire and motivate. So
I do.
It's different.
I do that with Aaron and Mitch. And Mitch, they're those guys are. Aaron found I was here yesterday, and he goes, "You didn't stop by to see me." I looked everywhere.
You were trying to find him.
I was trying to find him.
He can be hard to find sometimes.
It's all good. For sure.
It's
powerful.
This was by far the best. I loved it. It was
thank
great.
you. Thanks for putting it together.
Great.
You guys are onto something bigger.
Great episode.
Yeah.
Great talk. Great conversation. You have an amazing story, and thank you for everything you've done on the campus and everything.
Oh, for sure, Lou.
Because it's been incredible to see.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting us be a part of it.
Yeah.
I say this. People say thanks to me. Thanks for letting me.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting me be a part of something this great. It's great. It really is.
Appreciate it.
Me too.
I think that's
a
wrap.
It's a wrap.
Awesome.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks.
That's my first podcast.